Hey, what's going on out there, YouTube?
Yo, what's up, YouTube?
SCL0320.
Joe Johnson 030.
Representing JVS.
Coming at you live. Well, nah, this is probably not live, but still coming at you. I think it's like what? What's like a old Nickelodeon floating.
Is that Double Dare? Double Dare? I don't know. Anyway, this is the 10th episode, the season finale for season 3 of Rick and Morty. The RICKCHURIAN Mortydate, I guess, like Manchurian Candidate. This episode featured the president. The president asked Rick and Morty to do a civil service for him, take care of something in the White House. They kind of just brushed it off, and turns out the president was having surveillance on them, Big Brother style, and kind of got offended. And so thus proceeded the war between Rick and the president.
Which was hilarious.
It was very funny. It was very funny. I think my expectations were a little different though.
It's a troopers.
It was some craziness going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. What did you think about the episode? I'll tell you my take in a second.
I don't know, man. I don't think it's weird. It's different from like any other finale. Well, this is only the second finale.
Third.
Really? What was the second?
Second finale was Rick got put in jail. First season finale, the kids ended up stopping time with the parents, and they just kind of just waited for a few months until they decided to bring the parents.
Yeah.
So this is the third finale.
What was the second finale?
The second one was when Rick went to prison. Yeah.
Prison.
Yeah, he went to prison, and then Mr. Poopy Butthole was like, "We'll see you in such and such amount of time." Oh, because you know, what's the name? Decided to invade Earth because you know Rick was an accessory to terrorism. Bird person got killed, and then that's when all that happened.
I thought that was the end of season 1.
Nah, it was season 2.
So what was the end of season 1?
Season 1, they were they got into some kind of situation where they had to freeze their parents in time because Morty had decided to give up on Rick because he went to Bird Person. Bird Person was like, "Look, your grandfather's dealing with a lot of pain. That's why he's doing all this. You should go and try to stop this." And so Morty decided to get Rick to stop time so they could have enough time to fix everything so they could still have adventures. And it ended.
That was the end of the first season?
Yeah.
I thought that was all one season. Mm-hmm. And then like the whole Bird Person wedding was like the end of the first season. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, so wow. Anywho, yeah, it's definitely I think end of season 2 was probably my favorite season finale thus far because it was just like totally crazy and I did not expect anything that was gonna happen to happen. This episode, however, is definitely on the more humorous side, but however, it still did not have the impact and action and just the sheer awe that I was expecting for a season finale to end. So, with that being said, I would have to rate this episode probably a 7 or 8 in the books.
All right.
Yeah. I don't. What happened to Phoenix Person? We don't know what happened to Phoenix Person at all, and we don't know. We haven't seen any more of Rick. Not Rick. Evil Morty. Like we haven't seen any more of the evil genius Morty. So those guys are definitely up in the air. But then again, too, you still got Beth and what's his name? They got back together. Spoilers. Well, just all of a sudden, kinda. But it was kind of cool because she thought she was a clone, but she wasn't a clone. When I thought she was a clone, we all thought she was a clone. Even before she said she was a clone, I had the idea that she became a clone.
So you stand with a 7 or 8. You stand with a 7 or 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to be on the total opposite end of the spectrum real quick, and I'm going to break it down for you. Personally, I thought the episode was very funny. I thought that this episode could literally be right in the middle. Like, this could have been one of those filler episodes. I think that they had a perfect setup with the last episode alluding to the fact that Beth really could be a clone and leaving that up in the air whether or not. Because one of the realities, we don't even know who Beth's mom really was. Like, what was the relationship with Rick? Like, 'cause that whole entire first episode we saw, that was really just something that he created and fabricated. So we don't even know anything about Beth's mom. I think it'd be more interesting, compelling, the fact that Beth would go and try to find some kind of way of recouping a relationship with her mom. I felt like that was a lost service thing. I felt like, honestly, her getting back with Jerry, I think that they could have handled that a different way, because it kind of felt like a Simpsons episode where, like, all right, you make all these stakes here just for it to go back full circle. You go us through this whole entire divorce, the whole season, and there not be any real ramifications of it. If you're giving me at the end of the episode that Beth was out there, the real Beth was out there, and then you have this one, I could justify that personally. I definitely thought that evil Morty was what they were alluding to when they talk about, you know, him interacting with the president. I assumed that Rick was going to have this falling out with the Council of Ricks, because now evil Morty is the president of that. Well, personally, I felt like this was a wasted season finale. Like, I feel like legit that they had more episodes and they just kind of cut this. I don't want to rate this episode just because I feel like I would make it really low. I'd probably put like a 5 or something like that. Just because my expectations were a lot higher based on the last season.
Well,
I'm gonna unrate this just because it was very funny.
But he said 5.
I count it as a good filler. I did get to see Mr. Poopy Butthole. He came back with his family.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. But it was like, I love to laugh, but I want substance. I want something that has me like going into the next season like, okay, what are the real stakes here? Like, it alludes to things. You allude to Bird Person being alive and being a cyborg. You allude to Evil Morty being the president. You allude to Beth being, you know, like a clone. You allude to like the mom being a bigger factor in this, and what is Morty gonna do with, you know, his reality of growing up. But none of that paid off in this season finale. It was just kind of like this kind of cliche thing that I kind of personally was disappointed in.
He said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th.
That's what I think about.
But yeah, I definitely agree.
What? You can't renege?
No. I'm not reneging on my vote. But I'm gonna say, Rick and Morty as a show, it has found a great balance of, you know, like a very intelligent plot, great action, like superb action, and also like a lot of humor. And all of the season finales thus far had all 3 of those elements. I think they just had the humor here. There were some cool things happening with the fight between Rick and the president.
It was really cool.
It was still like you knew by the end of this episode, like, they were kind of gonna work things out.
And I don't like that.
You know,
like, I want there to be real stakes. I want, okay, your relationship with the president is forever gone. Like, either you sit here and stay and be stuck in this moment, because I felt like this whole entire season was Rick realizing that he couldn't control the situation, no matter how, you know, vastly smart he was and everybody else, how gifted he is. There's some things you just can't change. And I felt like he did feel that, but he still reversed everything back to benefit himself.
Yeah.
So it's like he didn't learn anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just felt like they could have gone so much more deeper with it. I felt like each one of the episodes throughout this whole entire season specifically have been very internal. Like, there's something really deep going on. And I thought when I saw Beth like freak out, I was like, okay, there's the catalyst that this episode's gonna platform off of, and like Rick's gonna have to really deal with it. And he did for a second, but then they kind of reneged on it. So that's just me. I did enjoy the episode. It was very funny, but I felt like my expectations were a little bit higher just because of the bar that this season had platformed. Specifically thinking about the very first episode, and thus far, like, you got episodes like Evil Morty or even the episode when him and Jerry went to the off planet and he almost let Jerry die. I mean, it's just so much that they kind of built up. It felt like kind of like Samurai Jack in a different way, but Samurai Jack was ending the series. This is not ending the series. This is kind of supposed to platform us into a new 4th season. But that's all I got. Joe is the man,
to say about
and we're gonna go. Keep it locked. JVS, we ain't gonna stop. And I can't believe I said it like that. All right, guys. Peace.